Oh man, Dara Karashahi, did you just say the worst thing you could have said about your drivers? Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur, and the Uber IPO has come and gone. We all know it didn't do very well. I don't know how it's going to do today when this video goes up. It's already dipped almost 8%. Is it going to dip more? Is it going to recover some of that? Who knows? We'll talk about that in the coming days. But we need to talk about Dara Karashahi because on the day that he went public, he was talking to a reporter, and the reporter asked like a bunch of general questions on the IPO. But when it came to the drivers, he gave one of the worst answers that he could have given. And Rideshare Professor already made a video about this and said that, and is calling for Dara to resign. He's not going to do that. I agree he should. The answer he gave was not the answer a leader who was supposed to bring the company together and to make people feel confident about their future at the company. He should not have said that, and we are going to go over it and more. But before we go over all of that, we must have a word from our sponsors. And today's video is sponsored by Maximo, the rideshare automation app that allows drivers to safely and easily accept ride requests for Uber, Lyft, and Postmates. Whether you drive for a single platform or multiple platforms, Maximo's custom settings can help you drive more efficient, less distracted, and help you maximize your earnings. It will automatically accept one trip, turn off the other apps, and when your trip is over, it will end it, open the other apps, and accept the next trip, all without you having to touch your phone. Use referral code APP60 and get your first month free when you subscribe to Maximo. So Dara actually made another pep talk to the Uber team before this interview ended up hitting. The day of the IPO, or maybe it was the day before, I forgot exactly, he wrote a long letter to the Uber employees, which you can see here. I'm not going to read it. You can pause it and read it if you want. It's not a terrible letter, mind you. It covers a lot of big bases. It touches on the need to do better in the future because now they're going to be public and they're going to be scrutinized even more than before. So, hey, I take that as an invitation to do what I do, except more so. But there is something that he did not mention. He didn't mention the drivers. For a man who has stated many times that the drivers are the heart and soul of the company, they are what make Uber, to not acknowledge them in the letter on the IPO day and instead give us that stupid little Facebook storytime video for everyone, which pretty much everyone kind of laughed at because it was like, oh, this little video, I've taken how many trips? I've been here how long? Is it going to mention how much less money I'm making now? Like me, this is almost like pointing out like how much you're working for peanuts. Totally dropped the ball with all the drivers. And the worst was yet to come. The worst is always yet to come. But there was this interview with this lady from Bloomberg. She started asking some tough questions at one point, and before you knew it, she asked this.
Let's talk about drivers. There was a big strike this week, thousands of drivers striking around the world. Certainly there are many drivers that are happy, but they say they don't make a living wage. Is there a way you could sort of implement a kind of a living wage, a longer term plan to keep drivers more engaged in the platform?
Now, this is a good question, but it's been one that's been asked many, many times. And let me just first give you the framework of what I was expecting the response to be. Because I've dealt with this company for a long time, and I expected them to say, we're always looking to find ways to improve the driver experience. We have revamped the app so that it is much easier to use. We have more Quest promotions. Drivers actually tell us that they prefer these methods on making money rather than a pay raise. So that's what I'm expecting the answer to be when I hear this question. Here's what we get.
So listen, when you have over 3 million drivers and couriers on your platform, it works out for some of them and it doesn't work out for others.
No, you didn't just say that. You did not just say that, did you?
So listen, when you have over 3 million drivers and couriers on your platform, it works out for some of them and it doesn't work out for others.
My goodness, you did say that. He said it's gonna work out for some people and it's not going to work out for the others. Now, here's the funny thing. You might actually say, well, maybe he got caught off guard with this question because someone who was not prepared for a question like that would clearly be the ones who would say something so stupid. Maybe he honestly thought that he was surrounded by Wall Street darlings. People are going to talk about the stock, nothing but the stock. They weren't even going to bring up the drivers because it's a well-known fact. They're going for self-driving cars. The drivers are not a thing. He must have fully underestimated how much the fact that that strike took complete control of the narrative that it wasn't going to show up here. But here's the thing. Even if he was not aware of the strike, he should have known this was going to be a thing. He's asked it all the time. And his response is, it's going to work out for some. It's not going to work out for others. Now, here's the thing. Ignoring the fact that that is technically true, that is not something you want your manager or your boss to say. If you go into an orientation and someone says, they say, hey, does anyone have any concerns about this? Does anyone have any questions? And someone says, I have a concern. What about this? And they say, well, that's going to work out for some people. It's not going to work for others. No. You don't want to tell the people who work for you that. You want them to say, you are going to feel welcome. We are always going to listen to feedback. We are always going to improve. We think we've got a great system going on right now, but you know what? There's always room for improvement. So if you have a concern, come to us and we will see what we can do to make your experience and future here better. We will do what we can to make sure you feel welcome at this company that you have chosen to work for and spend your time helping us build. This, and he wasn't even apologetic about the way he said it. It was, he said it in a way where it's like, yeah, it's going to work for some, and for the others, sucks. Totally sucks. This is not what a CEO says to his... look, he wants to argue they're not employees. You know what? Fine. They're human beings. And you see them striking, writing letters, emailing me, sharing me their screenshots of when they have lost more than 50% of the fare and they need that fare. They need that fare. And your response is, it's not going to work out. No, you can do things to help those people. And by helping them, you help you. That he is the CEO of Uber and he does not realize this is the stupidest damn thing I've seen in years. Excuse me, one moment. I promise this part isn't a sponsorship. Okay, fine. He gave a bad response. How does he continue? Let's find out.
And what we do have to make sure is our platform, it's a little too variable right now, and we want to make sure that it works out for all of our driver partners.
The platform is a little too variable right now. The platform that dictates how many times we can use the destination filter until we can't. The platform that doesn't let us see where we drive. Like, what does he even mean by that? I mean, his concern is that the app works for everyone. Not that it, makes them all feel like they have a future here. Not have it where, like, everyone feels like they can make money. No. They want it to make sure that the app functions, I guess, for everyone. And to get rid of variables. I don't even know what the variables mean. I mean, if you're talking about like the app does scooters and Uber Eats and rideshare, it's like, you know what? You did that yourself. There's a simple solution for that. Make different apps. Make different apps. There's your variable thing. What else does he have to say?
And that's what we're working towards, making sure that they're their own bosses. They can work anytime they want to. They can get on the platform, get off the platform. So there's an enormous amount of flexibility, but there's also variability of earnings.
Okay. I understand why he's highlighting the getting on and getting off aspect. In fact, I've even come to a realization, an epiphany, an acceptance that there are some people out there, some people who are watching this video, some people who comment all the time, by the way. And I'm not saying you're wrong by feeling this way. I'm just saying I've noticed this. And that is that they can get the crappiest of crappiest paychecks, have to work the overest of overest overtimes, sometimes, in many cases, both, but as long as they can get on and off when they feel like it, so long as they aren't told when they have to turn the app on and when they have to turn the app off, they are happy. So it makes it understandable why he would highlight this specific area, because it's probably the greatest asset they have right now. I think it's the major thing that's preventing people from just quitting altogether. Yeah, pay sucks. Yeah, hours are longer. But you know what? I'm my own boss. That's a good feeling to be your own boss. But he also says there's variables in the earnings, and there should never be variables in the earnings unless it's related to how much they're driving. Under the way I interpret this comment, and the way I see it, is that, hey, you know what? One guy can take a 4-mile trip, and the other person can take a 4-mile trip, and their earnings will vary. It shouldn't vary. It should just be 25%. But what's he going to do about it? Let's find out.
We want to make sure that every driver can be their own micro-entrepreneur, but to make sure that that opportunity works out for them.
Yeah, I know. Get to the part where you're going to pay us more money or tell us about what you're going to do to fix the variables of the platform.
We are adding in some markets, like in Europe, health benefits.
Oh, we're getting health benefits? Oh, wait, it's in Europe. Yeah, that's going to help us. So, what about the drivers in America? You going to address that?
Pregnancy leave benefits, etc.
Well, I probably won't use pregnancy benefits, so if you're a male Uber driver, which there's a lot more male Uber drivers than female ones, there's another Uber perk you will never use. And I think that's still only in Europe.
So we do want to layer on the kinds of benefits that our driver partners and couriers want.
Dara, you've had how much time to incorporate this? You've had so much time and you never have. The only reason you're doing this in Europe is because they're making you. I kind of wish the lady would say, you only started talking about benefits and overtime in Europe when, the Transportation for London, I believe that's what it's called, the TfL, forced you to look at them. And I'm still not hearing how is this going to help Americans, which is where you are. You're in New York City. How is it going to help the drivers in New York?
And I think long term, we want their lives to get better and better and better.
Always long term. And by the way, completely dodges the whole American thing. Doesn't get back to it. Whatever. You know what? Yeah. I know Rideshare Professor called for this guy to resign, and I actually agree. He's not going to do it. In fact, he's hired, and he's going to at least see the first 90 days of the IPO through, because it is actually written in his contract that if he can keep Uber's value for more than $90 billion for the next 90 days, he gets a $100 million bonus. Which, right now, it's not looking like that's going to work out, and I hope it doesn't work out because he needs some egg on his face. They all need some egg on their face. Uber got slaughtered at the stock market. Olivia Munn got crucified on Twitter. Dara Khosrowshahi needs to not earn his bonus and need to leave this company in shame. Poor response. Didn't even answer the question. Didn't address anything. And you know what? Considering the strikes, considering how much this narrative has controlled everything, he should have realized this. He was going to be confronted with this, and he should have had at least a semi-competent bullshit response ready for this lady. But he didn't. He didn't. And you know what? Now we get to make fun of him for it. So congratulations, Dara Khosrowshahi. You are a moron. And that's where we're going to leave it. That is where we're going to leave it. What do you folks think? Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe, yada, yada, yada. And you know what? Flame responsibly. I need a break. See you all tomorrow.